Hello, everybody. My name is Rapskilian, and welcome yourself back to another episode of For the Content.
Yep.
For the Content, episode number 7. Because Colesy just reminded me right before we started, and today's a special episode because I'll be drinking and eating during this episode.
Yeah, if you hate that, this is not your episode, I guess.
This is going to be a mukbang / podcast episode.
Okay.
Have you ever not wanted to do a mukbang?
No. I was literally watching a video last night about mukbangs, and I was like, I do not get the appeal of doing that or listening to that or any of it. I'm not.
Okay, obviously, the microphone, I set it to a way that you will probably not hear my chewing, but.
Hopefully.
Well, I don't know about you, Colesy, but for the viewers. So, today's episode, Colesy's dismantling a GoPro.
Yeah, it's like a fake GoPro. I'm just taking it apart because here's the thing. I was just fiddling while I was waiting for you, just fiddling, touching stuff on my desk, you know. And then I had this camera here, and I was like, I seem to remember that I put a memory card in, and I couldn't get it out. And then I thought, I can try and take it apart. I promise I will pay attention to the podcast, but
no worries, me too. I'm absolutely gonna pay. So today's absolute chaos because we're supposed to start at 3 o'clock or 2 p.m. for Colesy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be back right now, Colesy. I'm going to put on a t-shirt. And it took me 17 minutes to put on a t-shirt because I realized I stanked.
You stanked. You a stanky boy. That's okay.
I'm not going to sit in a closed room with my own stank. I'm not that kind of person.
Well, at least it's only you that has to smell it. So.
No, but I don't want to smell myself anymore.
No, I know you don't want to, but you know, worst case scenario, it's just you that has to deal with it, so it's fine.
Well, until they develop smell-o-vision for the stream, for the YouTubes.
Oh, in that case, we're never doing that because that's weird.
Well,
why would
have
anybody
you ever
that?
been to like those 4D cinemas?
Yeah, but I don't remember if they. The one time I've ever been, I'm not sure it had smell. It might have just been like.
I know there's one in America that does it, but I was in Singapore. It was one where it was a 4D and that hit you in the knee, in the shin.
Oh, fun! Yeah.
We didn't know that because we just went inside like, oh, let's go onto this ride. It was like an amusement park or something.
I think I went to one at Disneyland. I think that's where I went.
It's just like you're sitting down and you're like, oh, this is amazing. It's going back and forth. Ah, what the hell? Why are you hitting me in the shin?
Why are you beating me up, Ride?
So, what have you been playing, Colesy?
What have I been playing?
Crotch?
I've been playing many things. It's crazy. I've been recording videos. That thing that I do sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this GoPro down, otherwise I am going to be distracted.
Practically.
Sorry, I've sort of half got it apart. I played some VR. That was fun. That's a whole thing to set up, though. That's the problem. I have to sort of, in my head, I have to have like a day where I know that I don't need to do any editing because I need time to set up and then record and charge cameras and microphones and all that stuff. So I played mini golf in VR. That's pretty fun. That's one of my favorite games.
I always wanted to play that. It's really fun.
That's so fun. It's good.
Weird. Like, if you asked me in real life, let's go play mini golf, I'm like, no, I'm not a child. But if you told me, let's go play it in VR, I'm like,
I would play mini golf. I would definitely play mini golf in real life. It's fun. Anyway, so I played that, and then I've played a couple indie games. I've kind of I went into a phase of the other day I had to record something. I wanted to record, and I was like, and I've got a list of stuff, and sometimes I look at it and I go, not feeling that, not feeling that, not feeling that. And it's like it's like 20 games, and I'm like, I don't want to play any of those yet. So I just went on Steam and I went into free demos, and I just sort of pick random ones, and I go, I'm going to play that. I'll play it for half an hour, and I'll record a video, and I'll be stupid, and it'll be content. So that's what I did.
That's the best kind of content, being stupid.
Sometimes I feel like that is the best way to do it, is just not knowing anything and completely going in blind.
Well, that's how I used to do Let's Plays when I was still doing Let's Plays quite, on a regular basis. I didn't like playing a game that I already played. You're really enjoying that sippy cup, aren't you?
It's quite tasty, actually.
Yeah. So for the audio listeners that don't know, Colesy was just drinking a very small shaker.
It's a new energy drink I'm trying called Rogue Energy.
Ooh.
And they made a pink and blue cup, so I had to buy it. I don't really need the cup, but it's pink and blue, and they're sort of my favorite colors. So I was like, oh, fine.
It's so small. So
it's 500 mils. It's 500 mils.
Oh.
It's just because the one I normally drink out of, the X Gamer one, is like, what, 600-700 mil something? So it's weirdly big.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I'm drinking out of a big cup. Sorry. Well, no, I'm drinking out of a small cup.
So if you guys don't know, if you guys
man.
audio listeners don't know, watch the video format to find out. No, I was just saying, like, I remember doing Let's Plays and I hated doing games that I already finished a story in, that I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it felt always, the reaction to what happened in the game felt so prepared.
Yeah, it happens a lot with, like, if there's a big new game that comes out that I'm actually interested in playing. It happens a lot with horror games, because I do like horror games. Like a new Resident Evil or something. It'll come out and I'm like, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna stream it, I'm gonna do a video. So I cannot watch any content on it because I'm like, it will ruin everything if I know anything about the game.
Yeah.
So I try and avoid as much of it as, like people do in movies, I guess. They don't watch trailers sometimes.
I avoid trailers at the moment.
Yeah, because you don't want to get spoiled. Like you would rather go in blind.
Well, video game trailers and film trailers are different because video games are, subject to change, and also you having your different experience of what happened in the trailer. Films is like, it's only going to happen one way. That's how it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're literally showing you part of the film.
Yeah, the story. Like, motherfucker.
And sometimes they show you too much of the film, and it's bad.
It happened with Doctor Strange #2 for me.
See, the other thing I do is I
put it down.
I can't. I want to rip it off.
Put it on Snorlax.
Let me just try.
Put it in Snorlax.
I'm wedging a screwdriver under it. I just want to see if I can pry this.
Don't stab yourself, Colesy.
As long as I don't stab through the battery and there's not a big fire, we should be fine.
For the content.
I don't know what I'm doing, by the way, just for clarification. If anybody watches this and thinks he knows what he's doing, I haven't got a clue. I just took screws out and figured it'll come apart. Nah, forget it.
Why is it so wet?
I'll pick it up in a minute. I don't care. Excuse me, why is what now? What?
My pizza is so wet. Why is it so wet?
Pizza. I've decided to be healthy and I'm sad because I'm trying not to eat crap. and now you're eating pizza and it's mean.
Okay, so I want to talk about that because I found this guy on TikTok and I think he's fit. Not as in like British, like, he's fit. Oh, I get in there.
Fit. Yeah,
but like he's like physically fit, and he's always talked about like his diet stuff being bad for people. Obviously, if you want to lose weight, don't eat pizzas every single day, but don't also starve yourself.
No, it's more. You just have to eat a healthy amount of food and try to eat good food where you can, and not just eat like sweets or candies and drink lots of fizzy Coke and stuff. Like,
just do exercise.
Yeah, but I feel like it's got to be more than exercise. I feel like the food is like the main thing. Like, if you want to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you take in. That's the simple. You
have to make a calorie deficit.
Exactly.
I am no way. Don't listen to words I'm saying. I am repeating only what I heard from the guy that's professional. I am not a professional.
No, I have no idea either. This is this is what I'm trying though. So I'm trying to just eat like 3 meals and keep them fairly healthy, good meals. I had scrambled egg for my lunch.
How did you prepare the scrambled eggs?
I got 2 eggs, 2 medium eggs, cracked them in a bowl. This is cooking with Colesy, which is going to be videos. I'll make some videos of that at some point. I have already had the idea. So I cracked 2 eggs, medium eggs, a splash of milk, bit of ground pepper, stirred it up till it sort of mixes into just one thing, stick it in a microwave for like 2 minutes. That's literally it. And then just like mush it up. It's all good. That'll do. How can that be bad for me? I don't know whether you're impressed or upset. I don't know. He's not talking. He's eating. He can't talk. I have the full podcast to myself.
Why are you putting it in a microwave?
Because it's quicker.
Colesy, it takes literally... I'm going to go full go.
No, go on. Say what you're going to say and I'll explain my reasoning.
It takes you 2 seconds to fry up scrambled eggs.
Okay.
In that time, you were stirring your pan, stirring the things in the pan, in the pot, the bowl, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
You preheat your oven, your stove, and your pan.
Yeah.
So full heat.
Yeah, I could do that.
And then you put butter on top of it.
You've added butter. That's unhealthy, fat butter.
It's not unhealthy.
Well, it's adding extra food that I don't need to eat. So
you're putting it in the microwave. I think that's in some definition radioactive compared to
fat. Everyone's got a microwave, mate. I mean, come on.
So the thing is, what I've learned, and this is what, as a fat man myself, as being called almost, my health insurance wrote me back and said, "You're overweight, you're obese." I'm like, how do you guys know I'm obese? I've never had done a checkup. They're like,
how
but you
tall are you?
I'm 179.
Okay, I need that in feet because I don't know that. This is the problem with international. Thus, is we speak.
Let me look.
Numbers.
170. Oh my god, that's a Q. That's 9. That is 5 feet 0.8.
5'8". Okay.
5'8". Yeah.
I won't ask you how much you weigh because, well, you can tell me. I wasn't going to ask in case you didn't want to tell me.
I'm not so bothered about that. I weigh 96 kilograms.
Okay.
Kilograms.
Yeah, I need that in stone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to,
I love the way that every number you say, I'm like, no, I can't deal with that. I need the other one.
Grams and stones. That's 15 stones.
15 stone. Okay, so I both weigh more than you and I'm taller than you. So.
What? You're taller than me? How tall are you?
I'm 6'2". You look sad. You're 5'8". That's quite. I mean, not quite small. I'm not going to say that, but like, you're shorter than I imagine. I mean, obviously, I've only really ever seen you sat down in a chair, so I can't judge your height. But I've imagined you being taller. You can be whatever height you want, people. It's fine. I'm not going to judge you for height. It's all good. Right. Anyway, you were saying, as a fat man, yep, as we both are,
fat isn't bad for you. Your body needs fat. You need to eat fat foods.
Yeah.
Meat, butters, fat is not bad. What's really bad...
What if you're a vegan, though?
Depression.
You need meat? Vegans are out. Jesus
Christ. No, but sugar. Sugar is the only thing you should be controlling because sugar doesn't burn properly and it gets stored into your body, and that's what causes you to gain weight.
See,
your body needs fat. So if you eat like bacon or eggs and you put this butter with it, it's not a bad thing.
No, obviously, it's not bad. It's not as bad as if you went, if you just stick some candy in your frying pan with your eggs, that would be bad because that's sugar.
You'll break your fucking pan.
Well, I mean, yeah, apart from the fact you're ruining everything and you're making a horrible, disgusting meal, it would be unhealthy for you. If you sprinkled sugar on it, there you go. I don't know, if you like caramelize some sugar or some shit.
It's actually quite nice. I love putting sugar on my meat.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying it
sounds
not nice.
weird when I say that,
it's not good for you. I like putting sugar on my meat.
It's a strange euphemism for masturbation, but anyway, Colesy's face. I just think like people need to be. My wife is always like, you have to lose your weight. You have to lose weight. I have gotten this 15 stones now, and now I'm gonna do heavy training. I'm doing physical. Colesy saw the video I sent him.
I seen it. You did it on the Twitters, right? As well.
Yeah, I did on the Twitters also. People don't follow me on Twitter so much.
Well, maybe they should.
They should check out the socials in the description below because that's where the action is at. Also here in the podcast, obviously. But I've been doing that pull-up things for once a day.
I was concerned you were going to injure yourself doing.
No, I'm always going to injure myself, but I'm doing that every day. And then also I do pull-ups with the kettle thing, which is 20 kilograms, and I do that, and I run up the stairs back and forth. And also I work outside. I'm very physically active.
Yeah, you've got quite a physical job.
Can I just say one thing? I felt this was the most perfect moment in life to prove how posh Colesy is.
Oh, God, what?
So when I wrote Colesy today, I'm going to be on at 2 p.m. roundabout to do the podcast. He's like, I might be falling asleep. I might be asleep that time. And at that very time when Colesy wrote me that, I was out in the rain. It was a little fucking God pissing on me level of rain. And I was just like looking at that message like,
yeah,
he's such a posh boy.
Not a posh boy, to confirm. More of a lazy boy. I I decided to not come into the office this morning and just take the morning off and like sit with my cat and watch TV. So I was like, I might fall asleep. I have been known to nap quite a lot. I do love a nap.
Naps are good, man.
Yeah,
I think the fact is every company, this should become an international law, but that every employee should have a nap time. Every company should not have just a break time for them to eat, but have a nap time. Do you know how many people are grumpy because they don't have a nap?
Yeah, but people, how long is this scheduled nap we're giving everyone?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. See, I wouldn't be able. I'm not falling asleep in 15 minutes.
So the thing is, and this is something that I've realized, and my brother told me this many years ago, and I was like, this is bullshit. But I've come to realize it's the truth. If you take a nap longer than 15 minutes, your brain falls into like a deep sleep and you're groggy.
Yeah, well, I can nap for a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah, that's not napping, that's sleeping.
Okay, what I normally do then is I split my sleep into 2 sleep sessions throughout the day. That's what I do. I'm like a Spanish person that has, what do they call it? Like a siesta in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I like that way of life.
Oh, man. I used to do that a lot at work. I even had a mattress at work in my lunch break.
So I can tell you a story about how I fell asleep at work when I wasn't supposed to fall asleep at work. That's quite funny. When I used to, do a proper job. So I had a full-time job on a farm, and it was, I think I can say, I don't think anyone's going to chase me. It was a turkey/chicken farm. Depended on the time of year, whether we had chickens or turkeys. Obviously near Christmas, we had turkeys. So, there was like 4 big sheds or whatever of turkeys. They're called sheds. They're really big.
Okay.
We're talking on the farm, probably 10,000 birds, probably something like that. Quite a lot. Sounds like a lot. When I say shed, I'm not comparing it to the office shed. That's a very small shed. It was a very big shed. So, we had these and we like raised them and that, and then they go off to be killed for food, for meats.
I love you.
That's unfortunately how the world works. If you're a meat eater, that is how it is made, and I just happened to be in that job. So don't hate me if you're a vegetarian, soz. We all need money and work and stuff. It sucks. Anyway,
yeah.
So when it came to the time that these birds were of size that they needed to go, an outside company would come in and they would catch all the birds and put them in trucks, take them away to do all that, right? So as like the farm person, I had to be there just to make sure. I'm not really doing anything, but I'm just making sure like everything's fine. Like I've set everything up. They can go in, they can get them out of the way. I've got all the equipment that needs out of the way. And then I'm just you just wait around till they're done for like a couple hours. It's a couple hours of like, I mean, you're being paid, so it's fun, but you're not doing anything. You're just stood there. They're collecting them and taking them away.
Oh, okay. I thought it was during that time.
No. There's no murdering going on.
Long time, that murder.
No, there's no murdering currently. That happens later at a factory, so that's fine. So I'm just waiting, and I decide to go wait in this little, like, cabin we have. It's like a little metal cabin that they just bring in. So I was like, I'll just go sit here, because if they need me, I've told them where I am.
Yeah.
If there's anything wrong, but I'm like, it'll be fine. And I just sat there in a chair and I fell asleep. And I woke up when one of the guys came in and was like, we're all done now. We're going. And I'm like, okay. And so I just slept for 2 hours and got paid. And then,
that's nice, man.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but I mean, I'd probably get in trouble, but it's fine. It's fine.
I guess that's not why you're not working there anymore. It's like, the guy's sleeping in their job the whole time.
No, I quit that job because it messed me up mental health wise. I don't know why. I think I suck.
I know what happened. Can I guess?
You can try and guess.
Colesy was standing next to the line of turkeys as we've been loading onto the truck. And then one of the turkeys turned to him and said, "This is my baby. Save my baby." And then Colesy was like, "I'll save your baby." And he grabs the baby, and then some guy, the truck man, comes like, "Oh no, man, that's the baby. We're gonna take that, make a small turkey burger with it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill the turkey here now." And the Colesy's like, "No."
Unfortunately, that is not how it happened. I did see a lot of turkeys and chickens being killed, and may have had to do some of that. So it's just part of the job.
Oh, my grandfather traumatized me with that also, because like when I got to his farm, the first thing he did is like, "Look what happens when you cut a chicken's head off." and just like let the chicken run around. I was like, I'm 6 years old.
Yeah. See, my dad works in that. He's a chicken farmer man. So I have also grown up around that, where he would have to go and like, it's when they're sick, okay? Just to clarify, I feel like I've never really spoke about this because I always feel like it's people might have a go at me, but it's when they're sick, when they're ill, when they're injured. You have to put them out of their misery because it's mean to not do it. Yeah, basically. I mean,
that's what they start doing to us.
Food production. So where do you think your food comes from? Somebody has to do it.
Like you shouldn't feel bad, okay? Because the majority of the people that are complaining have a burger in their hand or something in their fridge, and like, oh, animal cruelty, food.
I do feel like this is like a thought I've had: is if you're a meat eater and you eat meat, you should be prepared to be able to kill an animal if you have to, and if you can't, you probably shouldn't eat meat. Do you know what I mean?
You should do that in schools, like for like.
They're like, would you like chicken nuggets? Right, here's a chicken. Fucking kill it then. And they go, no, I don't want to. And you go, right, you're having the salad then, aren't you, I guess? That seems like, fair. That you should. I'm not saying like we should all have to do it, because obviously we live in a society where that's not.
They should do that. They should absolutely do that. They'd be like, okay, you know, because of conservative parents, this is how you're going to get sex ed taught in schools, right? This is how you're going to get sex ed taught in schools. All the parents are like, oh, I don't want to have sex talked about in schools because that's against my religion. Like, okay, if your kid wants to have meat in lunch, he has to fucking go kill like a cow. He has to go stab a cow to death.
In my head, I'm thinking, you're just not going to give them any weapons. They have to fist fight a cow.
Or we can talk about sex ed. And the parents are like, my kid's like 5 years old. Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, weirdly, my daughter's just going into that sort of stage at school where they've sent a letter home saying next year we're going to talk about like sex education stuff, right? And they're like, oh, you have to sign it to say. And I'm thinking, what parent isn't signing that? That's so
there's
silly.
So many. My
it's
parents
so silly though.
My parents didn't want me to learn about sex.
But why? Yeah, but it's not. They don't go. Right. My daughter's like 9 years old. They don't go right. Here's how it works. They're going to talk about like relationships and like a man can love a man and a man can love a woman, and they're going to do all that stuff. So they're not going to start off like, this is a penis. This is what you do with it. It's not going to go like that.
No, because like I remember my dad, because my school sent a letter, but it was a late stage. They would ask, okay, we're going to be talking about sexual things and STDs and all that stuff. My dad was like, no, we don't want to have any of that. And then he came to my room, and I remember he sat down and he gave me a look, and I was like, Dad, I've been on the internet. I know everything about it.
I've Googled it. It's fine.
And my father, I can remember that. I never forget that the sign of relief on his face was like, he's like, good. When your mother asks, we had this conversation, okay? I'm like, yeah, okay.
See, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember my parents ever sitting down and explaining it to me. I think
either they just looked at you like, he's never going to have it, or he's like,
or it happened at school, or it's so damaging that I've forgotten it and blanked out my memory completely. Could be that one.
Does that ever happen to you where you're like, you sat down and you're like, is this a real memory or is this just imagination? Like, cause I remember my mind has, like, I've talked to my wife and I talked to friends and I'm like, oh, I remember what I did when I was like 7 years old or 8 years old, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Like, if you ask me about my childhood, like, the only things that I remember are the most traumatic shit or like, like really like special stuff. But the majority of it, there's a lot of black holes there, my friend. And I'm like, is this normal? I asked my therapist. I do have a therapist, by the way. I don't see him anymore. It's too expensive.
See, but you call me posh and you have a therapist. No.
Well, Colesy, you know, I kind of do need it.
I just can't afford one, mate. I'll just go insane. It's fine.
No, it's just like, I was like, is this normal? And he looked at me. He's like, that's not normal. That shouldn't be like that.
Repressing things. Yeah.
I'm repressing things. I'm like, good.
Okay.
That means I don't have to deal with it.
So what age is your earliest memory that you actually have?
My earliest memory? The earliest memory I have, I don't know the age, was when I played Hangman on the Commodore.
What age roughly would you guess you would be?
Probably like 6 or 5. Because I remember we were playing on it. We played on it, and then my dad was like, "Oh, this is really good." And then he got into a fight with the neighbors.
See, it's still traumatic. It was really good, and then a fight happened.
Because they cut up in a part. Oh yeah, that's right. Shit. That's the first.
Oh, we're breaking through. We're making breakthroughs here. So I'm your new therapist.
This podcast is therapeutic. I swear to God. Because I remember I was playing on the Commodore Hangman, and then my father was shouting at the neighbors because they killed a sheep in the backyard. They cut the throat of the sheep, and they cut open the belly. They had a sheep. I don't know where the fuck they got the sheep from.
This has gone back to animal slaughter again.
And they cooked it, and they're like, "Oh, that's just natural how we do it." And my father's like, "You can't fucking do this here." Blah blah blah.
I mean, it is sort of how food is made.
Yeah, but my father was all ups and turnsy about it. But he's also a huge meat eater, and I don't remember.
Fine, do it, but don't do it here.
He just doesn't like the neighbors.
Fair enough.
Then the thing is, I remember now, kind of, that after a few hours, we're all over there having a barbecue, eating and drinking. Of course, I wasn't drinking. I wasn't drinking at 5 years old.
Well, I was, but okay.
Well, my dad did give me a beer when I was like 7 years old. I do remember that.
I used
to. He's like, "Do you like this?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Okay, never drink this again."
When I was a kid, my parents would go to the pub.
As they would.
Yeah, just a normal average going to the pub, not like heavy drinkers or anything like that. Just pop out to the pub. But it was obviously a local pub that we must have known. And I used to talking about my sippy cup, not this sippy cup, but like the ones where the little sippy cup with the two handles. I used to walk behind the bar to the barmaid and hand it to her, and she used to put like the froth off the top of a Guinness. She used to just put that in my sippy cup, and I'd be like, and I used to drink that. I used to just drink Guinness when I was like 4, 3, I don't know.
Oh,
pretty cool.
My parents also gave me whiskey when I was a kid when I had tooth pain. I remember like one time I had like serious tooth pain. So like as a kid, my parents were not neglectful. Okay, I just want to preference this because when I say this, it seems like my parents were just not there. They were there, just preoccupied with other things. I've never brushed my teeth. I didn't brush my teeth, and I was like, I had like really bad teeth. And I had constant tooth pains. That's why I hate the dentist. And we didn't have any painkillers. My dad's like, "Come here." He just took like a bottle of whiskey, put it in a small cup, and he's like, "Drink this." The pain was gone.
Exactly. It was.
It was gone.
So,
but let me put this out there. Don't do that. It's really bad for the kids' health.
And a little bit. I mean,
we survived. Also, talk about surviving. Colesy, I think I want to make a correction from the previous podcasts.
Okay, what are we correcting?
I always said I'm going to die at 60.
Yes, you have. You are clear.
I think I'm going to take a 5 years off that.
You reckon 55 now?
55. Because I went skydiving yesterday.
Oh yeah,
skydiving, paragliding.
I was going to bring this up. We've both had little adventures this week.
Yeah.
Raps's is a lot more exciting than mine is, so we'll let him go first. But yeah, you went paragliding.
So it was my mom's birthday yesterday, and we said we're going to give her a gift. We're going to give her I'm going to buy her tickets for paragliding. And then my wife was like, "Why didn't you go also?" Because you always wanted to do it. Because I thought the best way to overcome my fear of heights is by literally going off the side of a mountain. Jumping out of a plane.
I also have a fear of heights, and I think I'd rather just live with it.
I learned 3 things. So there's a difference between fear of heights and fear of flight.
Okay.
So when we went up there, we got the things that the instructor was very nice. Everyone was very friendly, except for one cunt, but we won't talk about him.
Okay. Well, there's always one, but
there's always one. There's always one cunt in the group. If you're not one of them, your friend.
That's you.
Or if everyone's nice, then you're the cunt.
Exactly.
So we went. I got hooked up and everything, and he got his GoPro out. And he's like, "Okay, you have to run. You run, and then you just like lift off and you fly."
Yeah.
And I was like, my brain was like, "You're flying, but you're not scared." I wasn't scared. It was just like I was like on a gondole. like on a lift.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was looking down. I was like, oh, that's a forest beneath my feet. What the hell? But my brain is under my like. I thought I was gonna be like, ooh, this is exciting, but it was very boring. It was very weird.
I think people might describe it as peaceful normally, but you've got
yeah.
boring.
I was expecting this huge adrenaline rush, right? I was like, oh, get ready for the heart to be pumping, man. I'm going to be raw. Valhalla, boys. Nah, it's just like, all right, this is fun.
No.
But the worst part was I was enjoying the view. Bless the guy that did it, because I understand why he does it, because he has to do this like 6 or 7 times a day. But he made small talk.
Oh, that's awkward, isn't it?
He's like, so where do you work? I'm sorry. Sorry, this might be loud for the audio listeners, but I'm sorry. We're in the fucking sky. Don't ask me where I'm working. Let me enjoy the fucking view. Let the moment sink in that I'm floating in the air. I should be on the ground because I have 2 feet. I don't have fucking wings. I'm floating in the air. Do not ask me where I'm from, what I'm doing in this country, and don't talk about Russia. Particularly, don't talk about Russia. And I was like,
yeah.
And then anyway, I was an idiot. I had my gob open the whole time, so I was swallowing a lot of air.
I'm just drinking air and bugs and everything.
Bugs wasn't a problem. It wasn't insects. I was just swallowing a lot of air. Okay. So what they do is when you take off and do paragliding, you have to go into a circular motion,
right,
to gain altitude, so that you can go down safely. Because if you don't get enough altitude, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna hit a tree. You know?
Yeah, I can figure that out. Yeah, you don't go high enough, you hit the things. Good.
She hits a few things, right? So we kept doing this motion, and I get easily car sick. So I'm feeling my ears get cold. I'm like,
oh yeah, this again, this cold ear sickness. Yeah, we learned.
I was like, oh shite, and I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna land soon. It takes about 15 to 25 minutes, depending how long the flight is. You're gonna be down this soon, right? It's not a far distance.
Yeah,
theoretically. So you do the thing, and this guy's just talking. He's talking. I was like, I can feel my ears getting cold. I'm like, and I'm looking it down below me, like, okay, what is below me?
What am I going to be sick on if I'm sick?
So halfway through there, he's like, oh, I told him, like, hey, could you not do the twirlies things or crazy movements? I'm going to be sick. And he's like, oh, don't worry. I have a bag particularly just for that scenario. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. He's prepared, right?
He knows what he's doing. Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
He's done this before, thankfully.
Hence the small talk.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fine. I can hold it in. I'm probably going to make it until we land, right? And we're getting closer and closer to the landing point. And apparently, the closer you get, the more turbulent things get.
Right, okay.
And the guy before us, in front of us, he landed and he had a really rough landing. And he was like, the guy's like, oh, okay, it seems the wind's not so good down there. I'm going to put away the GoPro. I need to concentrate. And as we're coming down, right before he's preparing, he stood up and he's like, okay, and we're going to land now. I was like, oh shit. And it came up. I'm sorry for the video, for viewers, but I caught it in my mouth. The reason I caught it in my mouth is because literally we're flying over a family with a baby. And in my head, I was like, I cannot ruin their day.
It would be a funny story, though. I agree with you. As a nice human being, you don't hold it in, even though it would kind of be funny.
I was like, and I couldn't be like, oh, hey, guy, give me the bag now, because he's preparing to land.
He's busy. You don't want him to crash. Yeah,
you cannot be like, oh, give me the bag. He's fucking landing.
What you should have done is ask for the bag earlier, and then you just held it.
Yeah, right. Thinking, but I didn't think about that.
No.
So what I did is I caught it in my mouth, and just as we cleared those people, I projectiled it out in the direction.
Wow.
And he's like, "Wow, that was amazing." I was like,
he's so impressed.
He's like, "How did you time that?" I'm like, I didn't time it. I just like hold it in my mouth and I vomit, like projectiled it that way. And he's like, thank you so much. And I'm like, why? He's like, Well, yesterday, someone just went like this and vomited. And he had it all in his face. And he was like, I was like, the day was ruined.
I'm killing us both at that point. Screw you, we're going into traffic.
So he's like, thank you. And he's like, I don't have, he was like really nice. He's like, I don't have anything on my
I don't even have to wash this.
I have nothing on me. And he's like, oh, just go in the field. And I was in the field, heaving and hiving.
Uh-huh.
And I came back. My mom landed. And I was like, I wonder if she got also sick. My mom came walking up to me. And she's like, it's like, you got sick too. So both me and my mother got sick.
So this is what you did for your mother's birthday, is you took her to something death-defying that made you both vomit.
And also, I was sick today also.
Oh.
I had like, not vomiting, but I had like queasiness and unevenness. And every time I move my head like left and right too quick, not anymore. But like in the morning, if I move my head too quick, I was like, I'm fucking done.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I learned one thing. I belong on the ground.
Would you do it again?
No.
Okay, cool. Would you do anything similar, like maybe I was thinking more like a paraglider? You know,
That's
like
what I did.
No, what?
You mean tangent.
Parasailing. Is that what I'm thinking of?
No.
The big triangle thing that you hold on to. No, not doing that. Okay.
No, I am a man for the ground.
No, you're a ground man now. Okay, cool.
I'm a ground man.
He's learned
The
it.
thing is, like, we booked the tickets for Disneyland because I'm going to go to Japan for like 5 weeks, so that might be difficult with the podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. No, you can take a microphone. We'll do it.
We're going to Disneyland. My wife looked at me. It's like, are you gonna get on the roller coasters? I'm like, I don't fucking know anymore.
I don't like roller coasters, so I'm fine.
If war breaks out, and they're like, oh, you're Rapskilian, you have to be a paratrooper. I'm like, fuck you. I'm a frontline soldier.
Yeah.
I'm a fight the front lines.
I will be the first one over the trench, and I will die first. Okay.
Just don't put me in the fucking plane. Jump out of the thing.
As long as I'm not in a plane, I don't care.
I will vomit on all the enemy. That's.
What about submarine? They put you underwater instead.
You're fine.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm concerned. I've never been on a boat before. If I'm gonna go on a boat, am I gonna die also?
Have you never been on a boat?
I've never been on a boat before.
Not even like like a ferry, like a long ferry.
No.
Okay.
I'm dressing up as a I'm going after a Norse, with like, look here. I'm learning about Norse religion. I'm doing all the things. People call me a Viking. Put me in a boat. I'm gonna die.
Scared of a boat.
That's why.
I've been on
the front lines.
I've been on like a ferry from like the UK to France a couple times. That's fine. That's a couple hours. The longest boat. Well, when I was a baby, my parents told me they took me to Ireland and we went on a boat. And as a baby, I vomited everywhere. But I was a baby. Not my fault. No, when I went to Amsterdam, that was like an overnight ferry.
Okay.
That was all right, actually. I just worry about the sea being rough.
Boat. It's a big boat.
Yeah, you can feel it though. It's really weird.
If you go on a small boat, you're gonna feel it really badly. Small boats are cunts.
Well, the one time I went to France on the ferry, it was rough seas, but me and my dad went. I think it was like we caught like the 4 a.m. We had to drive down. It took us a few hours to drive down to Dover. It was like 4 a.m. when we got on the boat, so we both just fell asleep. But it was so rough that when it was starting, when you would try and walk, it would rock. So instead of walking forwards, you kind of ended up walking in a curve because the boat would tip you. But we both ended up falling asleep, so it was okay. I think if I'd been awake, I might have been ill. But
the thing is, I'm concerned about myself right now. I do not trust myself on anything anymore. Like I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm impressed that you did it because I'd be so terrified of that.
That's the thing. Like my mother was like, she was so nervous, and bless her, she just started talking to everyone. I kept going to her, like, Mom, stop.
She's just nervously talking.
She's nervous talker, and she's like, oh, but this is. She keeps talking to the pilots. I'm like, don't talk to them. They're assholes. They don't care. Literally. My mom asked him, and my mom's so kind, so sweet. She asked him, how many times you guys fly a day? The guy looks at her. I don't know. At that moment, I wanted to take his head and put it on the ground, but like, it's my mom's birthday. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like if you've got to do that job, I understand it's going to be boring and you're going to do it repeatedly, but you're going to have to talk to the people.
You have to have some social skills, all right? You have to have some social skills.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing? You know,
I mean,
what are you doing?
When you messaged me and you said it was so out of the blue and so strange. I was like, oh, sorry, what? What are we doing? That's insane. I thought I was going to come to the podcast with the story this week, but then you one-upped me with literally flying.
You went to see a bench, didn't you?
I went to a bench. Yeah. I went to the Fall Guys bench. Fall Guys.
I saw the video and I watched the beginning of it. Can I ask you, what is wrong with your brother? I mean, not in a bad way.
He listens to the podcast as well. I hope he listens to this. Oh, yeah.
I mean, your brother just seems disinterested with life.
He's a teenager, I think, is the problem.
No, I mean, like every time I see him on the camera, he's always like,
yeah. Again, it's he's a teenager, I think, and he's just like,
Do you know, as a teenager, I was all around the place. I'm still the same. I haven't changed.
I guess some people are just different, but he's one of those mopey, he never leaves his room kind of teenager. You know what I mean? Like, he's in his room all the time. He's like,
What are you doing in that room? I know you're listening to the podcast. What do you do in that room? Do we need to have a talk?
Do we need to send Raps's spirit of his dad to have the conversation with you? Anyway, the bench. So, Fall Guys went free to play on everywhere, I believe.
Yeah.
Switch, Xbox, all that good stuff. And then they put their marketing idea was to get a bench, one of those, just a wooden bench with a plaque that said like Fall Guys. I think it says like free to sit from 2022. And they made a little video. It just so happened that where they put the bench is not too far away from me.
Yeah.
Not to dox myself, it's in the same county.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was watching that video and I was like, Colesy, you know this is gonna be some guy. But like, okay, he said it's close to him, but looking at his eyes, the direction of the wind, and the wind temperature, I know where he lives.
Okay, so it's in the same county as I live in, which is why I would deem it not too far away. I don't think you'll find me. It's near enough that I was...
Don't challenge the internet.
It's not a challenge. I'm just saying it was near enough to me that I thought it's worth the little, like, drive.
Trip.
If it was, like, the other side of the country, I'd be like, I'm not doing it. Like, it's a funny meme. Not that funny meme. But yeah, we drove out to see it, and we just sat on it and played Fall Guys, and it's quite a nice bench. And
good quality.
Yeah,
good wood.
It is good wood. It's comfy. Nobody's stolen it or graffitied it yet, so that's good.
Oh, that's good, you know.
Yeah, that was my story. I knew it was a dumb story, that's why I did it. And then you like come in with, I went flying, and I'm like, oh Jesus, my story's nothing. This man flew and vomited. What did I do? I saw a bench. Good bench.
No, good bench. A good bench is a good thing. Colesy, have you ever slept on a bench?
No, we've had this discussion. I've never slept on a bench. I've never slept outside. We've had this discussion. You slept on a bench and a man circled you, and then you said, when you see me in real life, you're going to make me sleep outside.
Because now you're talking about benches, my friend, he reminded me of a story also where we went to meet his ex-girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And her parents were super strict. Like, they didn't want her to have a boyfriend. Seeing as a good friend as I am, he's like, hey, Rapskilian, do you want to come with me to visit my girlfriend? I'm like, why do you want to come visit your girlfriend with you? He's like, oh, because I can't see her out in her house, so I can only meet her for a few hours outside. Okay. That means I have to sleep in, like, the train station or outside. Or stay up awake the whole day so I can see her again.
How old were you at this point?
I think I was 17.
Okay. That does sound like something I'd do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay. I have nothing better to... I have literally nothing better to do. You know? Than go outside and sleep on a bench. And then... The funny thing was, he went to meet the girl, and I was like, I'm so fucking sleepy, because it was like at 5 a.m. I wanted to sleep. And I had this big, like, military jacket.
Uh-huh.
And I was sleeping on the bench. And apparently, where they were walking up to me because he was like, I want to introduce you to my best friend, Rapskilian. And she's like, no, that's a homeless guy. Don't go to him.
That's a homeless man.
And he's like, no, that's my best friend. She's like, no, he's going to stab us. He's like, no.
He's probably not.
He woke me up and I'm like, and he's like, oh, hey, best friend. And she's like, oh, shit, that is your best friend.
Oh, my God. She just thought he was an insane... Oh, this is my
homeless
boyfriend.
Guy.
He introduces me to homeless people. He's a weird man. Yeah.
It was a fun experience. I think everyone should sleep outside one time. Experience the life as a homeless person, you know. Because it gives you perspective.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it gives you perspective. And that's the thing, like, I've had this conversation with my wife multiple times. If we win the lottery, I'm going to send my kids into poverty for half a year.
Yeah,
it sounds cool and unusual. Yeah. Because, like, you know, I really don't want my kids to be dickheads. I don't want them to be... I really don't...
I think if you raise them right, they won't be anyway. Like, I think that's
the thing is, like, if you can raise them to a certain point, but if you give them freedom, because money gives you freedom, right?
It does, yeah.
And gives you privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And privilege means arrogance. And the thing
Not
is,
always,
like,
but yeah.
Like I've met a few people that are like unbelievably rich, and they're absolute cunts.
You've never met a nice rich person.
I have met one person that was really rich. Like, I mean, a ungodly amount of money, and then they were like, "Oh, I grew up poor, and this man is the most kindest hearted person ever." I'm like,
yeah, well, you understand, don't you? You've got more of a perspective of the whole thing.
I think once you've had a sleep at a train station and a guy circles you in a small lorry going beep 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 beep, your whole life is set in perspective.
You're
like, shit.
I still don't want to do it though. That's the thing.
Have you ever asked for money at the station for train tickets?
No.
Have you ever?
Oh, I may have. Maybe I have. I might have asked for like money for a bus ticket before.
So I did that, and I was stupid. Apparently, you're not allowed to do this in Switzerland. I asked the police officer, "Sorry, sir, can you borrow me some money so I can get home? Because I don't have enough money." And the police officer looked at me and was like, "You know that's illegal, right?" Like, yeah, but I'm not begging. I'm not scamming. I literally cannot get... I'm like, I don't have enough money to get home. Can you give me the money? I will pay you back later. Or you're a civil servant. You're supposed to help us.
I don't think they're supposed to give you money when you ask for it, though. I mean, that feels money, a little bit beyond what they're doing.
You know, you could be like, okay, you seem I was literally underaged. I was an underage child asking for money so I can get home.
Maybe you thought you were a little orphan boy, and you're you're on the rob. You're gonna steal something. He's up to a scam with his friends.
And he just looked. He was like, "I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm gonna pretend I never heard that. So I'm gonna let you off. You're just gonna keep walking." I was like,
he didn't help you then, in any way.
So what I did is I just went on the train. I didn't pay for my ticket. I did a crime.
He did a policeman made you do a crime.
Exactly. Police officer, I asked you for help. You didn't help me, so I did a crime.
I think the only time I've ever done it is like literally just waiting for the bus again to get home from like wherever we were, and I think I was like, oh, I thought I had like a £5 note and I didn't. So then I was like, I went to like a nice old person because I assume old people will be nicer to me than a young person will be. And I was like, I'm sorry, have you got £1 or whatever so I can get the bus? And they're normally fine. They normally do it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, the guy that did help me one time, and I was like, I think I was really drunk, and I asked him, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll give you the money for the train ticket, but if you have to help me do this one thing. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, hang on, no.
Where is this gonna go? And he's like, can you just can you help me roll this thing? And I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll help you roll it. And he looked at me, and he's like, I'm gonna be lonely if I do this by myself. Do you want to smoke this with me? I'm like, sure, I'll do it.
Oh, now you're taking
I was 16.
Drugs off a stranger. What?
I was 16. I was like, marijuana, that's not that bad.
When I was drunk, when I was probably like 18, 19, because like I said before, I live in a very country area. So it's like big gaps between the towns. So I think we got my dad to drop us off, me and a friend, and we went drinking and we got drunk. And our intention was we'll just pay for a taxi back. It was a few, I don't know, 5 miles maybe. It wasn't far, but it was like the next town over. Anyways, we were going to get a taxi back. So then we got drunk and we were drinking in the bars and one of them closed. So we went to the next bar.
A pub crawl.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I think it got to like midnight or maybe 12:30. Something like that. Something that I didn't think was too late.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, yeah, I think the pub was closing. And we were like, okay, right, we'll go get a taxi now. And we went outside and the taxi place was closed. Ooh. And I'm like, I'm not going to ring my dad because that feels rude. It's 12:30 at night. I'm going to wake him up and be like, drunk, can you get me? So instead we decided, well, I'll just walk it. We'll just walk it in the dark, like 5 miles. We maybe walked 2 miles and then a strange car pulled over on the road and was like, do you want a lift? And being drunk, I went, yes, I do. Because I just thought, I just want to get home. I don't want to be walking in the dark anymore. Yeah. So yes, I would like a lift home. And me and my friend got in. I didn't even consult my friend. I was like, yes, we do. And then he just got in the car. Like he didn't. And then I spoke to him afterwards and he was like, I wouldn't have done that. And I was like, oh, I just didn't care at that point. I was willing to trust this stranger. And like we opened the car, got in. And you know, like when you open the car door, the light comes on normally so you can see. Yeah, he didn't have that. So I had no idea what this man looked like. And it was a man because I heard his voice. But I opened the door, nothing. I sat in the front, my friend sat in the back. And then I just told him where I lived and he just drove us straight to my house. And then after the fact, I'm thinking lots of things. I'm thinking that was stupid to get into a car with a stranger.
Tell him exactly where you live.
I never saw his face. I took him to my house. I was completely drunk, and I was like, yeah, that was bad decisions, but turns out it was fine because he didn't kill us or anything.
Did you change houses up until this point?
What, after? I mean, after, yes. Since then, I have moved multiple times.
You probably, your parents like came, you stopped the car and said, Colesy, did you come home with that guy and you saw where you lived? Like, yeah, I told Dad, what's the problem? He's like,
that's exactly what my parents said. My parents were like, did you get him to drop you at the end of the road? And I'm like, no, I just got him to bring me straight to the house. And they're like, don't do that. You don't know him. I'm like, it's fine. I don't know.
They're probably like, we have to buy a new house again because of you.
No, we've moved since then. They've moved. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to sleep tonight. That guy's going to be outside waiting for the perfect moment.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if I saw him because I don't know what his face looks like.
Exactly.
I figured
you never know.
I figured there was me and a friend and just him. I figured if anything went bad, 2 versus 1, we're more likely to win. Okay,
two drunk teenagers against one guy that's prepared to kill you.
Yeah, so that's my friend's in the back. He's going to grab him by the neck from behind.
Yeah, you think your friend's the first one to fucking run.
He can't get out. It's only got 2 doors, so he's got to get past one of us to get out. So what are you going to do?
Over you. He's going to get over you.
He's just going to climb right over the top of me and get out. He's going to go sunroof out.
Your friend's sitting there at the back, like planning to escape. Like, I'll go to the roof. Get out of here. That's fine. Anyway,
that's one of like the only like 4 times I've been drunk, by the way. So
I've got to be a CUTNT. I have to go.
That's okay. It's time to end the podcast
because Rapskilian is really bad with timing and scheduling because life is fun.
Yeah, well, we've got to figure out when you're in Japan how that's going to work. So
yeah, I'm feeling nauseous already.
Okay, right. Well, cool.
Love a face with a bit of pie. This has been episode number 7 of the For the Content podcast. Please check out the description below for information about my Twitter, his Twitter, my Discord, or whatever. Everything's written down there.
All of the YouTubes, TikToks, all that good stuff.
All things there. Also check out our audio version of the podcast if you want to take the podcast on the go whilst you're on the train, taking a poo, whatever you want to do, while you're
sleeping on a bench.
Sleeping on the bench.
Yeah, paragliding.
About to get murdered by a random stranger.
You get in a stranger's car and you think, you should listen to this stranger. It's a really good podcast. You should like, promote it. Yeah.
I should probably not kill this person because he's good taste in podcasts.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, well,
anyway, boys and girls, love your face with a bit of pie. We'll catch you next Sunday before I go to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
Bye.
See you soon.